Monica D writes, I read the horrible news this morning about the passing of David Bowie. I grew up listening to his music, as did my older brother and sister. A lot of people forget that he also appeared in a lot of movies. I was wondering what you will remember him most for in his acting career.
You know, it's really unfortunate for several reasons, because when I first heard this morning about David Bowie passing, I didn't believe it, because there was a David Bowie dies fake story like 5 months ago or 6 months ago or something like that, that it came out and it was totally not true. And then this came out today, and again, I just kind of wrote it off because I didn't even know he was sick. I didn't know. And so then when I heard he died, that's really unfortunate. And, you know, a lot of reading around on the internet today, a lot of people just really celebrating the music and the career of David Bowie. So if you're going to ask me, now look, he's done some very key things. Obviously, most people will remember him for Labyrinth, absolutely. And this is just my bias, but the greatest moment of happiness and joy David Bowie brought to me in his on-screen acting career, and this is going to seem weird because there's so little, but was his cameo in Zoolander. When they're about to have their walk-off, Bowie, you have to understand how perfectly Bowie executed this. And they go, all right, who's going to judge this sucker? And just stepping dramatically out of the shadows of I believe I might be of some assistance. And it's David Bowie. And even just without lines afterwards, the constantly going back to him in his like judge's chair, like a big throne, and him judging this walk-off was hilarious. I don't know at this point if I had heard rumors that he might have been cameoing again in the second Zoolander. Obviously, now that casts a lot of doubt on that, or whether that's the case. But yeah, the passing of David Bowie, very sad. Mark, what do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, the statement on my shirt, I believe it is true for a very select few people, and David Bowie would definitely be one of those for me. His musical career was a huge influence on me, as well as his performances on screen. I love seeing him in The Prestige because I didn't know that he was in it when I got it on Netflix or however I rented it. It might have been one of my last rentals at Blockbuster. Is I popped it in and seeing him pop, I'm like, oh, sweet, I love David Bowie, because he played also not one but two very famous historical figures. He was Andy Warhol in Basquiat and was tremendous, and he played Pontius Pilate in The Last Temptation of Christ. Like, how versatile can this guy possibly be? You look at how versatile he was in his music career, and that's like enough for everybody. And then how good he was on screen, and obviously as a kid growing up around that generation, Labyrinth, I love seeing him as the Goblin King. So it's a huge loss for artists in general, for that community. It's a huge loss for planet Earth.
Schnepp, what do you think about?
Yeah, devastating news. True legend, incredible creative talent. Sometimes you have people that are with you since you're born, and you're like, they'll never die, and it's a bummer. The Man Who Fell to Earth, for me, Nicholas Roeg's film, a science fiction film that Bowie is the main star of. Love that film. It's a really unique and strange creative film, and it emphasizes the creativity that is and was David Bowie. So to me, that's my favorite film that he was in. I love that sequence. Him also playing another historical figure, Tesla, of just him walking with electricity exploding all around him. An amazing entrance. Yeah, David Bowie's music, if you're not familiar with it, do yourself a favor. Check out Ziggy Stardust, Spiders of Mars. Check out David Bowie. Check out Tin Machine. Check out everything he's ever done. Listen to Low. Listen to Heroes.
Check out Diamond Dogs, too. Diamond Dogs is probably my favorite Bowie album. It doesn't get mentioned with the greats of all time, but you got Rebel Rebel on there. You got 1984. That's a great
You've got Let's Dance. He went through so many different phases of music and was so experimental, he was never going to get pegged. If you're like, oh, this is the David Bowie sound. No, it's this. He was a true artist, and he'll be missed.
Well, that's one of the things a lot of people forget about with David Bowie, was he was a true artist. He took the medium and he explored it. Every album was an exploration of a different corner, of a different room, of a different floor of this musical house that he had built over his career. And you're right, you were never able to peg him down in that. And so he gave us a lot of diversity, and he gave us a couple of very memorable film roles as well, and he will be missed.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.